Is a support group for AB540 students, but we're not only composed of AB540 students. There's students who are legal residents and citizens who are very supportive of our cause. AB540 students are those, for the most part, at least at the CSU level, they're undocumented students who came to the U.S. when they were younger and went to high school for at least 3 years and graduated from California high school and are eligible to pay in-state tuition at the CSUs, UCs, and community colleges. Mainly because there's a movement out there, there's students organizing, and there's a need to put a face to the issue because we've been in the shadows for a very long time. And it's time that people, for people to see us, to see our faces, to hear our stories. Because there's been media coverage on undocumented students, but it's always, they always use a different name. They always try to protect their identity, and that's understandable. That's very understandable. But at the same time, I think that there's a huge need to put a face to the story. And I'm not the only face. There's hundreds and maybe thousands of students who are doing the same thing, maybe risking being detained or something like that, but are willing to do it because they're just tired, and I'm just tired. I've been waiting for a long time, so it's time that people start hearing us. Yes, one time. It's not that I'm not. Well, I was scared because I know this one girl whose family was detained by ICE because she spoke at not only a press conference. What she did is she went to testify in the Senate, in Congress, the U.S. Congress last year for the DREAM Act, or in favor of the DREAM Act, and her situation is a little bit. It's way different than mine, actually. But her family was detained, and so that was scary, just hearing that someone I know was going through something like that. Well, a lot of it has to do with the financial struggle, the fact that we cannot legally work in the country, so it's really hard for us to get jobs. At least decent paying jobs, So the whole time I was in college, I had to work, and still to this day, I have to work for a restaurant basically, and getting minimum wage or something like that. And so just trying to save up the money was a big issue. But not only that, when you're a young person, you have all these dreams and you want to do all these things and you just want to live a normal life. But the fact that you have all this extra baggage and all these obstacles makes it even harder for you to live your life, just as a regular person, or a normal person, whatever that is, because you're trying to live your life, your personal life, and at the same time you're trying to work as much as you can, save money, and do the best you can in school, because if a student like yourself wants to apply to scholarships are very limited. So we really have to do super good in school, and we have to go the extra mile so that we can get that scholarship, so that we can just be able to stay in school. And for students like myself who had to commute, I used to live in Culver City, and so I would take the bus from Culver City to CSUN, and it would take me about 3 hours to get there. To get here, actually, 2 to 3 hours to get here, and then about 4 hours or more to get home.
Their stories, by the way, will make you cry when I've heard them talking about what they've gone through. When you hear a student talk about how they came up through the ranks, the K-12, and they were in school here, and parents maybe for a while didn't have a job, and how the only time they ate was when they went to school. I remember one story, a young man talking about how he used to pues robaba la comida in the cafeteria to take home so other members of his family could eat. And most of us say cafeteria food no sirve, it's no good. And here this young man talking about how he looked forward to going to school so he could eat and how he could take some food home because there's a lot of food wasted in school lunch programs and so. But he was taking it home. You hear, and that's just a small example of the sacrifices and the stories that you hear when you sit down and meet and listen to and interact with these students. Very good students working with a double, triple, handicap against them and an incredible will to succeed, and many of them will, and it hurts to see the ones that just have to drop out for the economic reasons and just not able to continue.